Hello viewers and welcome back to Factorio. I'm your host Pipichuchu once again, and in the recent times I've rebuilt my place up a little bit. I've edited it a little bit, and currently we're producing two new resources. We've been starting to produce some steel plates, and we've been starting to produce some stone bricks, and I have just two little modular areas set up to do those. So currently I decided to reschedule our production a little bit. I've changed a few things up, and I'll show you guys what I've done for that. So I made a little modular area that's currently converting 5 units of iron plates into 1 unit of steel plates. Steel is something that we're going to need more and more of, and this is just sort of a stopgap measure that I've decided to make. I made a turret array that sort of just spans the edge of our facility, and in addition I've been making a few radar buildings like the one over here, and what these do is that they keep track of the hostiles on the map, but namely they also reveal large chunks of the map around them. So currently the world that we're in is being fleshed out a little bit more. The radar has revealed a lot of these mineral patches. That's the copper, the blue, and the stuff that would like represent the fields right here. And it's also been exposing quite a lot of these monster dens, which are just sort of in place here. So really going from here, I noticed that we'll be needing a lot more production facilities, namely in the area of iron production, mainly iron plates. And what I've done is that I made this area slightly less convoluted. So now I have a system of these fast conveyor belts and these fast splitters, splitting one big line into 2 smaller lines, which then split into 4 lines, and those 4 lines are currently feeding into 4 different lines of production, namely the stuff that we're using to make iron gear wheels, the stuff that we're using to make transport belts, the stuff that we're using to make those electrical circuits, and the stuff that we're using to make ammunition. My plans are to make this little transport area a little bit bigger in the near future, and what I want to do is that I want to convert all of the stone furnaces here into electrical furnaces, which require oil production. So I researched quite a lot of technology, and I'll show you guys that in a little bit. And in general, I've spent a lot of time just reorganizing how we're producing things so that it's going to be a little more efficient. Namely, I'm gradually replacing my assembly machine 1s and replacing them with assembly machine 2s. I've also expanded them over here because I know for a fact that we're going to need a lot more copper cabling in just a little bit. And in the process, I'm in the process of replacing a few other things, and you may have noticed that the HUD has changed as well here, and this is because I've made it so that I have, let's see how many things we need 2 iron gear wheels, 2 electric circuits. I've made it so that we have a little, so yeah, I've pretty much just made it so that everything is a little bit more efficient, and everything will just sort of run slightly better than usual, I suppose. So that is pretty much the recent times over here. I've upgraded a lot of my facilities so that they're a lot more organized and stuff and such. And well, pretty much today we're just going to build up upon this. We're really going to see how we can make these areas even more efficient than what they are right now. And namely, we're going to play around with a little bit of oil in the near future. I'm actually going to prep for that by building a few of those little areas, those little oil barrels, because we'll be needing them soon. And currently what we need to do is that I need to get production back on track with these things, with the inserters, because we need them to produce technology. And recently, I've been just gradually building up our tech plans for the recent little bit here, and I'll get this modular little factory to start to do its thing. Yeah, so we're producing a lot of tech. I have a large store of these red little science packs, but I need some of the other ones. And yeah, recently I've been just sort of making it so that I'm future-proofing these production areas so that I can expand them easily. And one of the things that I've built in the meantime to help us out with electricity is I'm trying to build some lights here so I can show you guys the area nicely. I built a large facility over here, which is a little power plant, and I got the design off of the wiki. So, one of the things that you can do to actually make your power plants a lot more efficient is that I've just made a chain of boilers here, here, and here that provides power or steam to a series of 4 steam engines each, and these are just effectively running, and we have pretty much like 50% excess capacity, so we have a great amount of span just to sort of expand over here. So yeah, we have a ton of engines working below their capacity, and really what I've done here is that I've made it so that there's a slight amount of red transport belts. The coal area here unfortunately is a little bottlenecked, but it's really just spitting coal into 2 lanes, one that's transporting it back to my original power plants over there, which admittedly, like, you know, they're not too efficient right now, but I suppose I'll keep them, and I'll keep them running because they don't really require very much effort to maintain. And there's another one that just sort of spirals around here, supplying electricity to all of these boilers, and you may have noticed that some of these boilers are off right now, and that's because currently this place is way under performance. Rather, you know, it has so much excess performance that we don't really need all of these steam engines to be active, so that's sort of that. And like I said, I mean, I want to stop using coal power and I want to switch to electricity. Namely, we are still using these stone furnaces. They have a smelting speed of 1, they use 180 kilowatts. I want to switch to these electric furnaces, which use steel plates, stone bricks, and advanced circuits instead, because they smelt faster, they use the same amount of electricity, and they don't need me to... Oh, we're being attacked somewhere. They don't need me to come by and occasionally manage, which is the biggest thing. So with that said, I want to get all of that stuff done. I'm just going to switch out these picks here, meaning that today we're going to take a look at building up some oil works. Actually, just slightly before that, I'll give you a quick run through of the tech that I've unlocked. So automation level 2, I think we already had that. I got advanced electronics, which will allow us to build some electrical advanced circuits, which allow us to do some other good stuff, and some smart chests, which can selectively store things. I did solar energy. I haven't used that just yet, and that's just solar panels. I did steel processing, obviously, to unlock the steel goods, and they're really just a better pickaxe, a better steel chest, and a better intermediary good to make other good stuff. I did some stuff about mineral processing or advanced material processing, and that's really just the thing that unlocks the electric furnace. There's this stone furnace, and I believe, or this steel furnace, and I believe it still runs on coal, and that's the reason I dislike it. Yeah, it still runs on coal. It's useful in that it works faster, but I mean, it's not terribly great. And I also unlocked the stuff about oil processing, namely the stuff required to extract oil, the stuff to handle it later on, and plastics, because we need plastics to actually make the things for the... Well, we need plastics to make the... what's it called? You know, I just don't have any words here for some reason. The thing for, what is it? Like the electric furnace, or yeah, the electric furnace. And these little monster things, they're constantly attacking us now. But my turrets are handling them quite nicely, and bullet damage 2 is done, so that'll help us out. Probably should have researched armor earlier, but we'll make some armor plating for ourselves so we can aggressively take down those monster nests so that they won't be a problem inside the future. And that was a very fast research, so I think we'll get tier 2 armor, yeah. So anyhow, what I want to do now is that I want to start to play around with oil, and I want to get oil production up and running, namely due to the fact that with oil will be quite critical for us to just sort of mess around with. And how it generally works is that you want to have these oil sections just really mounted up and connected to sections that refine the oil, and this is what we're gonna do here. So I have a few buildings. I have these pump jacks which require electricity, and they produce a fair amount of oil. It's fairly low. It's 1.1 per second and 0.7 per second, so I suppose it differentiates between the two different little mining sites here, and I suppose it drains over time. So what we want to do with those is that we want to I'll build some storage tanks here too, and what we really want to do here is that we want to make an oil processing plant that takes the oil, and I wanted to split it up into different products. So, how you do that is that you want to have a chemical refinery, and furthermore, you want an oil refinery and a chemical refinery, or a chemical plant. And what those two things will do is that they'll just effectively convert that raw oil into something a little bit more usable and manageable. The reason that we want a storage tank is because I'm under the impression that we'll have a little too much oil than what we actually need. So I'm actually just going to place one here, and this oil tank will just be able to sort of fill up with the excess as we just sort of wait around here. So yeah, we'll just let it do that. And this place will gradually begin storing up its oil. See, over time it's increasing slightly. Now, with that done, what I want to do is that I want to harvest, yeah, I see 4 different, or rather 3 different oil spots, so I want to harvest from all of them. And in the meantime, I mean, I suppose getting some more wood would be good. And yeah, we'll just plug that down there, connect it up to electricity, and build some more posts, because we need some more of these, some more of these. Oh yes, and I've unlocked medium and big electric poles, which are just slightly different ones. I believe they're better if you have any, like, you know, one particular connection thing that you absolutely need, but for our purposes, they're not really that essential. Yeah, and the other thing that I figured out was that the little monsters, they're actually attracted to things that use electricity, and the higher the electrical use, the more that they'll just try to attack them, meaning that they typically go for turrets, although if you have radar dishes, those radar dishes are really big problems, or rather threats. Overall, I only need a small amount of stuff from this oil setup, so I'm not too worried about it being attacked, but I just want to keep that in mind. I want to keep in mind that it might be attacked at one point. And there we go, armor research is done. I'll just do something about trains. I'll just let it do its own thing. So anyhow, this oil tank should be able to effectively run 2 groups off of it. So we'll get oil to go into it first and foremost, and we'll just link it up. Electricity is good, and it should be able to refine. Yeah, it'll be able to do basic oil processing, so it'll convert 20 units of crude oil into the 3 basic products here. And it'll just effectively keep doing that, and in each and every single one of these little tunnels, or rather one of these starting pipes, will have its own little generated thing. So, where did my mine go? There we go. There it is. Yeah, I managed to unlock the research that gives us 2, tiers of HUD, or like quick bar menus, and it's getting slightly confusing keeping track of them. So anyhow, we have this little production facility just sort of set up, and going from here, I mean, these things will produce a lot of pollution, unfortunately. So they do make targets of themselves, and the real thing that we want this area to do is that I wanted to start to generate some plastics for us. And that's really what we're going to do here. It's really just getting this area to generate plastics. So with that sort of said, I'm trying to get this area to just sort of do its own thing, and it looks like no matter what, we will need a few just dummy drums here, because I haven't played around with the oil too much, unfortunately, and it looks like what we need to do is that the oil production thing, it caps out at the amount, so since it's piping, it doesn't make stacks or anything. So it looks like we'll have to do that. It converts oil, or crude oil, into these 3 products on a cycle, and I believe the 3 things is that, like, there's light oil, petroleum gas, and heavy oil. All we really want is the plastic, so that is the one thing that I want currently, and that's pretty much the only thing that we'll be generating off of this cycle. And this is because, I mean, I like to introduce game concepts gradually, so with that sort of said, I don't really want to rush anything just yet, so I'm just going to try to build up good supplies of that. I'm under the impression here that what we can do to make this area a little bit better is that petroleum goes in there, but for whatever reason that box didn't seem to, or rather that inserter hand didn't seem to put stuff back in here for whatever reason. So anyhow, this will produce plastic bars, and with plastic bars we're able to build these advanced circuits off of electrical circuits and the copper cable. So that's kind of why copper cable is becoming more important. It's because those copper cable units are used to build the tier 2 electric circuits as well. So I'll just run on this conveyor belt, grab some more of this stuff, and build however many advanced circuits I can. And really, I mean, going off of here, yeah, my little copper production chain it's really big right now. So really, I mean, going off of here, all I really want to do is that I want to build a few more, rather, I want to build a few of these little electric furnaces now that we have plastics being built and stuff and such like that. That is my goal for now, and this will just gradually give us a small amount of ore to really just mess around with. So I think we'll just do that, and yeah, pretty much that has been what I've been doing recently. Now I want to see if these machines can actually build advanced circuits for us, because I think I'll actually make that an automated task. So yeah, these circuits are pretty much complete. They're doing their own things just currently right now. And well, one thing that I don't want to happen is, well, here, I'm going to need more copper, I'm gonna need some more of those units of iron plates here. So I'm trying to make it so that I want all of my production lines to use both the top and bottom lines on these little circuit areas here, and it's kind of difficult to get them to just sort of place them on one side of the track or the other, unfortunately. So trying to figure out what's a good location to squeeze this one in, and I have a feeling the only way that I can do this is it's really this. Yeah, because once you get both sides of the circuit running, it makes it a lot easier. But unfortunately, it's kind of difficult to get them to use both. Here, you know what? I'll do this. Didn't realize I could do this before. I'm pretty sure somebody was just like, "Oh my god, could have just done this." Yeah, if I put like a little injector location like this, what should happen is that it'll drop plates. Yeah, perfect. So I want to produce a lot of these inserters because I want more tech. And it really requires this production change to be working. So yeah, this will work. This will just sort of inject metal plates, and those metal plates will then be brought over here, converted into research. And yeah, it looks like we'll need some green research bars now. So I'll just get this research chain running for now. And looks like we actually have too many green plates in those. And this one over here. And there we go, now it should be doing its thing. So perfect. And once we have a little more of those inserters, I'll put them on this conveyor belt, and that'll give us a ton of resources to just, rather, a ton of research to mess around with. So anyhow, right now, yeah, I'm not a big fan of building these little advanced circuit pieces by myself because it's quite time consuming, and we need a lot of them in the future. So I think I'll make one more automated factory over here, which will just do that for me. And like before, I mean, all of these things, let's see, advanced circuits on all of them, and these advanced circuits will require plastics, electronic circuits, and copper cables. So yeah, these will just continuously make them for us. And how I think I'll do this is that I'm gonna need some fast inserter hands here. Yeah, with our factories and now, like recently I had a whole entire stack of inserters, just like 64 of them. I think I actually had 120 some of them, and I could just build them up and just constantly use them. But yeah, recently, unfortunately, the production lines here they're not terribly great. And these things have been stalling me up. So yeah, I'll just reset this chain, and now it should be producing a lot more inserter hands. So yeah, I mean, recently my resources have been really good. I've been having a ton of these iron plates, or copper goods in general. I meant to say copper plates, but now that I think about it, I had a ton of copper plates and copper cable. Had a ton of these little mechanical, the little cog wheels, and that's mainly because of the fact that I have like just boxes and boxes of surplus over here, along with iron plates too. And I mean, recently things have been just going pretty decently inside our little manufactory here. But the main thing is that I want to remove this stone furnace area because it's getting quite annoying.